Hello, this is your Express briefing for Monday, November 11th. From the San Antonio Express News, I'm Joy Marie Scott. Become a subscriber and read more of these headlines at expressnews.com. Today is Veterans Day, and there are several events around San Antonio honoring those who have served. Expect some isolated thunderstorms and high winds in the afternoon and a high of 73. And beware, it's about to get cold. Special education advocates say Texas is violating a federal law by refusing to allow guardians to look out for certain students after they become legal adults. A Texas family sued the Texas Education Agency and Corpus Christi Independent School District after a special education officer said a father could no longer advocate for his son because he was now 18. The son has fetal alcohol syndrome, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and a learning disability. The TEA wants the suit dismissed, and the state argues the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act doesn't require Texas to establish a procedure for appointing a parent or guardian to act on behalf of an adult student. The Spurs are set to retire Tony Parker's jersey after tonight's game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Parker is the last of the big three to be honored in the AT&T Center rafters, joining Manu Ginobili and current Spurs assistant Tim Duncan. The ceremony will be broadcast live by Fox Sports Southwest, the Fox Sports app, WOAI AM 12, and KXTN 1350 AM or 107.5 FM HD2. Fans at the game will receive commemorative Tony Parker shirts and fanbangos. They'll be able to check out a 9-piece art exhibit honoring Parker and displayed inside the arena. Janie Barrera took an interesting path to her role with the San Antonio-based Lift Find, one of the largest microfinance organizations in the country. She was a nun with the Corpus Christi-based Sisters of the Incarnate Word and Blessed Sacraments for 15 years before leaving and becoming involved in the telecommunications and public radio and spending time with the Air Force. When Barrera arrived at Lift Find in 1994, the company didn't have nonprofit status or an office. But it soon made its first loan and has grown exponentially from there. Today's Veterans Day, and we'll be following morning and afternoon events at Fort Sam Houston. In honor of the day, our military reporter Sig Christensen spoke with the 101-year-old San Antonian Cyrus Avey, who was a young corporal during World War II. He served on Guam, where B-29 Super Fortress bombers launched waves of firebombing missions. Like many of the 16 million Americans called to service then, he never fired a shot and wasn't shot at, but lived in the shadow of death and did his job. Consider a subscription to the Express News, the voice of South Texas since 1865. Just 95 cents for the first month, a digital subscription helps support our work covering San Antonio and South Texas. You'll get access to all our stories on expressnews.com. Join us at expressnews.com/subscribe. And in other news to know today, Texas had the fastest growing economy among U.S. states in the second quarter this year. A new Green Street pathway for cyclists and pedestrians opened at the medical center. St. Mary's University says it has surpassed its fundraising goal of $130 million and is setting its sights on $150 million. Lawmakers sparred over the witnesses who will be allowed to testify in the impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump. The wife of a San Antonio police officer and daughter-in-law of the police union president was sentenced to 4 years of probation for failing to stop and render aid after causing a traffic collision that injured 2 teens. LaMarcus Aldridge remains a mystery the Spurs don't try to explain. This is the topic of Mike Finger's latest column. Texas doctors reported a mother for abuse, but a judge said it was CPS that harmed her kids. The family was swept into a bureaucratic child welfare system that relies heavily on the opinions of doctors who specialize in spotting abuse, sometimes even in the face of contradictory evidence. A brother remained silent after shooting his sister's suitor in the streets of King William. The Barbie family opted for San Antonio over Beverly Hills in the late 1880s and were prominent residents as King William's flourished. But they left the city soon after this socially mortifying incident. Visit expressnews.com for the full story on all of these headlines and more. And now the fun stuff. Burgers and barbecue are allies at this Southeast Side Roadhouse. House-baked buns and fresh beef, meat brisket, and potato salad at Big Lou's Burgers and Barbecue, which rates as a solid neighborhood option. Find our latest installment of 52 Weeks of Burgers at expressnews.com/food. And we have a recap of Luminaria, which hit up Hemisphere last Saturday for the 3rd year running. You can also find your guide to planting sweet peas and winter veggies by seed in your garden. And that's your Express briefing for Monday, November 11th. Get San Antonio's top news headlines daily. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. For the San Antonio Express News, I'm Joy Marie Scott.